So in today's video, we're going to cover what you need to know to help you find the perfect home within your budget in 2024, right here in the Knoxville, Tennessee area. My name is Todd Jewell. I've been a real estate agent in this area for over 15 years, and me and my team are receiving calls and emails every day from people just like you who are looking to make that move to Knoxville. We love to hear from you. We don't care if you're looking to make that move immediately. If you're not going to be making that move for a year, we want to go ahead and get the process started so that your move can be as easy and stress-free as possible. Okay, let's get started. So as of late 2023, what does the market look like in Knoxville? Well, what we're expecting to see over the next 12 months throughout 2024 is a 3 to 5% price increase. Now, if we were to see interest rates drop in any considerable way, we're going to see a lot of buyers jump back in the market, and that will change. But as of today, that's not expected. So the market has cooled a little bit, even though it's still very solid. It is still technically a seller's market. We're still about 33 days or so for the average home to be setting on market. But where we are does give a little bit more negotiating power to a buyer. It gives them a little more breathing room where they're not having to waive all the contingencies and compete with other cash buyers or whatever. There are some challenges in this market that we're in right now and that we're expecting to see in 2024. We're going to cover those next. So what are the two biggest challenges that buyers are facing today in buying a home? Well, the first one's pretty obvious. We have seen rising interest rates. So if you are someone who is financing a home, you're having to face these higher rates, and it just means that even though homes have increased considerably in price, the amount of money that you can spend to buy a home has decreased over the last 12 months. And that's created a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of folks who have been sitting on the sideline thinking things would get better, and they've just continued to get worse for them. The second significant issue that we're seeing and challenge has been inventory. This is a challenge across the country, in most parts of the country, where there's just more buyers than there are homes for sale. That's no different here. We also have what you may hear referred to as rate lock. It's basically where we've got homeowners who have bought homes over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years at very low rates, fixed. And even though they may prefer to sell that home and move to something bigger or smaller, they aren't willing to do that at this time because of the buying power that they've lost in their rate, because they still have to finance. I can just tell you, from someone who's in the business every single day, all those people do is cost you money. Inventory is going to continue to be a problem. And because of that, there's some things that you're going to need to do if you're looking to buy a home in 2024 to help give you the best opportunity to buy the home that you want and stay within your budget. Let's talk about a few of those. So the first strategy I want to talk to you about is starting early. If you are planning on moving or hoping to move in the first quarter of 2024, and you haven't already reached out to someone who is a relocation expert, you definitely need to do so. You need to be learning as much as you can about the market. You need to be learning as much as you can about the areas. And you can get a lot of stuff off YouTube, whether it's this channel or any of the others that provide information, but it's not the same as having a discussion with someone who is in this area, lives here, and can start to learn about what you need. I want to say this, and it's very important. Information, and the more information you have, is power in this process to you right now. You need to have a lot of really good information so that you're able to make a decision when the time comes. Number two thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is financial preparedness. Now, that is more than just getting your pre-approval, okay? That is a big piece of it. What it means is this. It means it's speaking to them about, okay, we're going to be changing jobs. What's the best way for me to do that to make sure that I do not mess up my ability to get a mortgage? Or we're thinking about buying a new car, trading our car. Is that going to have an effect on us in 3, 4 months when it comes time to buy a house? Those are the kind of questions that you need to know. And then when you get within 60 days or so of being here, you definitely need to start talking to that lending institution about your pre-approvals. So the third strategy you're going to need to employ when it comes time to buy a home in 2024 and to make sure that you're staying within budget is that you're going to need to learn to be a little more flexible than you may have thought on the front end, and to prioritize what is important to you in a home. A lot of times we start out in a discussion with our clients and they tell us these are the most important things to us. And then later on in the process, once they become more educated, they rearrange those priorities because they realize that, maybe what they were thinking wasn't really what's most important to them. The second thing you're going to need to do in this is to be more flexible. So, I have people who say, we want new construction. I only want a home that's been built in the last 5 years or whatever. They come in with that thought process. But digging a little deeper again and learning why that's important to them may change their perspective on that. And if so, it opens up more avenues to you because of the low inventory we talked about earlier. And some of those things, the more areas that you're open to and comfortable with, the better opportunity you're going to have, not just to find a home you like, but to find a home you like within the budget that you've established. So the fourth strategy we're going to discuss has to do directly with this low inventory issue. And really it breaks down to two types of buyers. Are you someone who needs to sell a home and buy a home, and you need to do that, say, in the 2-month period while the kids are out of school, so you can get them back in school? Or are you someone who says, I don't have to sell? So if you're the person who has to buy within a certain period of time, or your timeline is very short, or you're someone who's watching this video and you've waited to where you know you're going to be coming down here in the next 30 to 60 days and you've been here before, but you really want to buy while you're here, then time's not really on your side. You want to make sure that you have as much information as possible. If you haven't reached out to an expert, you definitely need to get that done now. But if you're the other person, you're not up against a timeline, or you're someone who doesn't have to sell, that's the best case scenario, because you can take your time to find the right home for you in the right location and within your budget. But let me say this, because I do see this a lot as a challenge for a lot of folks. Some folks believe if they wait long enough that they're going to find a home that's not in their budget today or just doesn't exist today, that miraculously appear on the market and be within their budget. That's probably not the case. So for you, you're going to need to be realistic about what the market is offering you in that budget. The longer you wait usually will just cost you more money. So we don't want to just wait because we can wait. We have to sometimes get a little creative in negotiating. First thing that most people make the assumption of is that a seller's number one priority is always getting the most money for their home. And I'm here to tell you, as someone who does this every day, that's not always the case. When you do come to look at homes and it comes time to make an offer, it may be that that person would be willing to take less for the home if you're willing to be more flexible with moving date. The second thing is cash is always king. So maybe you have to sell a home because all the money you're going to use to buy your next home is sitting inside that existing home right now in equity. Happens all the time. So making some preparation and making sure that you go get a $200,000 or $300,000 HELOC on that home, and then gives us more negotiating power. And I see deals not happen simply because agents aren't being creative enough in how to make this work and what's best for the buyer and for the seller. Creative negotiating and having an understanding of what it means to be able to negotiate a deal and having someone on your side that is an experienced negotiator is very, very important. But whatever your situation is, what I want you to know is that we can work with that. We just need to know that situation as early in the process as we can, so that I or my team or whomever you're working with can give you good information about options and things that we can do down the road when the time comes that will help us negotiate the right home for you and keep it within your budget. So the sixth strategy I want to talk to you about is this, and that is understanding market conditions. In the beginning of this video, I said our prediction here in Knoxville for 2024 is that prices are going to increase somewhere around 3 to 5%. The best option to me is to spend an extra visit or two coming to the area and looking at it before you move, is learning as much as you can about the area before you move, and then buying at today's prices, whatever that is. And then down the road, if we need to sell that home because you want to move, at least you've locked yourself in today at today's appreciation rates. If you go rent a home and you pay somebody $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month for that home or more, you're guaranteed to lose anywhere from $20,000 to $24,000 the first year that you live here, plus the 3 to 5% appreciation rate. So the last strategy that I want to talk to you about is long-term perspective. When you buy a home, it's not a stock, I tell people all the time. It's a place you raise your family. It's a place you live. It's a place where memories are made. It's much, much, much more than just a financial investment, although it is not less than a financial investment, because it is most people's largest financial investment. So it is important, but if you look long-term at a home, go back in the history of our country, you can't find a 10-year period that home prices have not increased. So no matter where you buy and what you buy, realistically, if you plan on being that home, you've done your research, you're going to be fine. Think long term. Plus, remember, you're buying a home. You're not just buying an investment. And to put all of this together and to sum it all up, one of the most important things that I think you need to do to make sure that you are able to find the right home in 2024 and you're able to find that right home within your budget is you must pick the person who you're working with that understands what you're going through and when you're moving. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you give us a thumbs up? We love those thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so below. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you around Knoxville really soon.